10 restricted 70s movies that you can watch uncut today. What if I told you that some movies were once considered so shocking that governments tried to erase them from history? In the 1970s, these films didn't just upset audiences, they caused panic. People protested, courts stepped in, and some directors received death threats simply for making them. Owning an uncut copy could get you in serious trouble. These movies were locked away, censored, and banned for decades. Today, you can watch them freely. But the question is, what was so terrifying about these films that the world tried to silence them? Here are 10 restricted 70s movies that you can watch uncut today. 10. I Spit on Your Grave, 1978. I Spit on Your Grave, originally released as Day of the Woman, is one of the most notorious films of the 1970s, written and directed by Mir Zarchi. The story follows Jennifer Hills, a young writer who retreats to a remote cabin to work on her novel, only to be brutally attacked and gang-raped by a group of local men. The film depicts the assault in shocking detail, making audiences uncomfortable with its intensity and duration. Upon release, it caused global outrage. Countries including Ireland, Norway, and West Germany banned it outright, while the United Kingdom heavily censored it and later targeted it during the video nasty panic. Critics condemned the film, with Roger Ebert walking out and labeling it exploitative and morally offensive. Despite the initial backlash, later analyses have re-evaluated its themes, highlighting Jennifer's methodical revenge against her attackers as a narrative of empowerment. Feminist scholars like Carol J. Clover argue that the film forces viewers to confront the reality of sexual violence rather than treating it as entertainment. Even activist Julie Bindel, who once protested the film, later admitted she had misunderstood its message. After decades of censorship, uncut versions were released in the United Kingdom and Australia in the early 2000s. Today, I Spit on Your Grave remains deeply unsettling, yet it is also recognized as an important cultural artifact, exploring violence, revenge, and female agency in a raw, uncompromising way. 9. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, 1974. Tobe Hooper's The Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a low-budget horror classic that terrified audiences with its realistic style and intense atmosphere. The story follows a group of friends traveling through rural Texas who encounter a family of cannibals, led by the terrifying Leatherface. Hooper used a documentary-like approach, filming with handheld cameras and natural lighting to create an unsettling sense of realism. Although there is surprisingly little blood on screen, the implied violence and suspense make viewers feel extreme fear. The film was marketed as based on true events, which added to the horror and panic. Upon release, it was banned in several countries, including the United Kingdom, Germany, Australia, and Brazil, and it did not receive an uncut release in the UK until 1999. One particularly famous dinner scene was filmed in over 100-degree heat with rotting food, making it extremely difficult for the actors, especially Edwin Neal, who later said it was the worst time of his life. The full 83-minute version is now available on 4K UHD Blu-ray releases, allowing viewers to see Hooper's vision clearly. Critics now regard The Texas Chainsaw Massacre as one of the most influential horror films ever made. Its realistic style, terrifying atmosphere, and cultural impact inspired countless filmmakers and helped shape the modern horror genre. 8. The Last Picture Show, 1971. Peter Bogdanovich's The Last Picture Show is a moving black-and-white film set in a small Texas town during the 1950s. The story follows the lives of teenagers as they deal with love, loneliness, and growing up in a town that is slowly dying around them. Young actors like Sybil Shepherd, Jeff Bridges, and Timothy Bottoms give authentic performances, capturing the confusion and struggles of youth. The film became controversial because it included scenes of teenage sexuality, such as the famous skinny dipping scene, which led to a ban in Phoenix, Arizona. Local authorities considered the movie obscene, but the ban was eventually overturned in federal court. Despite this, the studio demanded cuts, removing 7 minutes of footage. For years, audiences could not see the full version. It wasn't until 1992 that Bogdanovich released the restored director's cut, running 126 minutes, which is now the version available on Blu-ray. The movie explores themes of desire, ambition, loss, and the slow decay of traditional values, showing both the beauty and sadness of life in a small town. Critics praised its honest portrayal of human relationships and its emotional depth. The film received 8 Academy Award nominations and is considered one of the greatest coming-of-age stories ever filmed. Today, it is recognized as an American classic that combines nostalgia, realism, and unflinching honesty to show the struggles and growth of youth in a changing world. 7. Carnal Knowledge, 1971. Mike Nichols' Carnal Knowledge is a bold film that examines male sexuality, relationships, and the way men and women interact over decades. The story follows 2 college friends, played by Jack Nicholson and Art Garfunkel, as they navigate love, desire, and sexual relationships from the 1940s through the sexual revolution. The movie shows their struggles with intimacy, jealousy, and emotional distance, presenting a raw and honest look at human desire. At the time of its release, it caused controversy because of frank discussions about sex and a scene showing oral sex, which was unusual for mainstream cinema. In Albany, Georgia, the theater manager showing the film faced obscenity charges, which went all the way to the United States Supreme Court. In the landmark ruling, Jenkins versus Georgia, the court overturned the conviction, strengthening First Amendment protections for movies as artistic expression. The film also faced temporary bans in Italy and censorship in other countries, reflecting the international sensitivity to sexual content. Today, the complete 98-minute version is available on Blu-ray, allowing viewers to experience Nichols' original vision. Critics now consider it one of his finest works, highlighting his skill in showing the emotional and psychological complexities of relationships. Roger Ebert described it as brutal and uncompromising, praising its honest portrayal of desire, loneliness, and the consequences of emotional detachment. Carnal Knowledge remains a significant film for understanding human sexuality and its portrayal in cinema. 6. The Exorcist, 1973. William Friedkin's The Exorcist shocked audiences worldwide with its story of a young girl, Regan, possessed by a demon. The film became famous for its terrifying 5. Straw Dogs, 1971. Sam Peckinpah's Straw Dogs is a tense and brutal film about violence, masculinity, and human nature. It stars Dustin Hoffman as a mild-mannered American mathematician who moves with his British wife to her quiet hometown, only to face escalating harassment from local men. The tension builds, leading to a shocking home invasion that turns into a violent climax. The movie was highly controversial because of a long rape scene, where Hoffman's wife, played by Susan George, appears to experience pleasure during the attack. This made British censors demand cuts before giving it an X certificate. Later, during the UK's video nasty panic in the 1980s, it was refused a home video certificate, making it illegal to buy for almost 30 years. In 2002, the British Board of Film Classification finally approved the uncut version with an 18 certificate. Today, the Criterion Collection Blu-ray presents the full 118-minute film in excellent quality. Critics remain divided about the film's message, debating whether it criticizes or celebrates violence. However, most agree that Peckinpah masterfully builds tension, making the violent moments feel devastating precisely because they are delayed. Straw Dogs is recognized as a controversial but powerful exploration of fear, anger, and human brutality. It demonstrates Peckinpah's skill in crafting suspense, forcing audiences to confront moral ambiguity while presenting some of the most intense cinematic violence of its era. 4. The Last House on the Left, 1972. Wes Craven's The Last House on the Left is a raw and intense thriller that shocked audiences when it was released. The story follows two teenage girls who are kidnapped, tortured, and murdered by a group of escaped convicts. The girls' parents later take brutal revenge on the criminals, leading to a terrifying and emotional climax. Made on a very small budget of $87,000, the film's realistic, almost documentary-style approach made the violence feel extremely real. This intensity caused the movie to be banned in several countries, including the United Kingdom, where it was prohibited for 17 years. During the UK's video nasty panic, the film became even more notorious. Some of the original footage, including a controversial rape scene, was destroyed by censors, meaning the complete version could not be seen for decades. When the movie was restored for home video, editors had to combine several cuts to create the most complete version. Today, the Arrow Video Blu-ray release contains 3 different cuts, with the most complete version running 84 minutes. Wes Craven later explained that he wanted to show violence as it really is, ugly, chaotic, and horrifying, reflecting the harsh realities of the Vietnam War era. The film is now recognized as a landmark in horror cinema for its raw realism, emotional intensity, and bold depiction of revenge, influencing generations of filmmakers and redefining the horror genre forever. 3. Thriller, A Cruel Picture, 1973. Thriller, A Cruel Picture, also known as They Call Her One Eye, is a shocking and disturbing film from Sweden, directed by Bo Arne Vibenius. The story follows a young woman who becomes mute after a violent attack in her childhood. She is kidnapped by criminals, forced to take heroin, and forced into prostitution. After many years of abuse and suffering, she learns to defend herself and decides to take revenge on the men who destroyed her life. The film was extremely controversial because it showed violence and sexual cruelty in a graphic way that most audiences had never seen before. Because of this, it was the first film ever banned in Sweden. When it was released in the United States, around 25 minutes were cut to remove the most graphic sexual scenes before it could be shown. For more than 30 years, the full uncut version was not available, which made the movie a legend among fans of cult cinema. In 2004, specialty labels restored the complete 107-minute version on Blu-ray. Today, critics and viewers see the film not only as exploitation, but as a dark story of a woman who takes control after years of suffering. Filmmakers, including Quentin Tarantino, have said the movie influenced their work, especially in the revenge genre. Thriller, A Cruel Picture remains one of the most notorious and influential cult films of the 1970s. 2. Last Tango in Paris, 1972. Stanley Kubrick's A Clockwork Orange is a bold dystopian film that shocked audiences when it was first released. The story follows Alex Delarge, a young man who enjoys violence and crime in a bleak future society. The film shows Alex and his gang committing robberies, assaults, and other crimes in a style both violent and artistic. The movie was controversial from the start. In the United Kingdom, it was linked to copycat crimes, causing fear among the public. Newspapers and the media claimed it encouraged violence. Kubrick received many death threats and asked Warner Brothers to withdraw the film from UK cinemas, effectively banning it for 27 years. During this time, owning an uncut copy was rare and dangerous, with black market VHS tapes selling for hundreds of pounds. Today, the complete 136-minute version is available on Blu-ray, including famous scenes like the Singing in the Rain attack and Malcolm McDowell's chilling performance as Alex. Critics now view the film as a thoughtful exploration of free will, punishment, and state control. Roger Ebert described it as a savage political satire, showing society's flaws through exaggerated violence. The movie's artistic direction, music, and visual style remain influential. A Clockwork Orange is now celebrated as one of Kubrick's greatest films. It challenges viewers with difficult questions about morality, choice, and the human capacity for both cruelty and redemption. 1. A Clockwork Orange, 1971. Stanley Kubrick's A Clockwork Orange is a dystopian masterpiece that shocked audiences and sparked moral panic upon release. The film follows Alex DeLarge, a violent and charismatic youth, as he navigates a chaotic future filled with crime, ultraviolence, and state control. Originally released in the United Kingdom with an X rating, it was linked by newspapers to a series of copycat crimes, generating fear and outrage. Kubrick received numerous death threats and requested that Warner Brothers withdraw the film from UK circulation, effectively banning it for 27 years. During this time, owning an uncut VHS copy was akin to possessing contraband, often traded on the black market for hundreds of pounds. The complete 136-minute cut is now available on Blu-ray, including the infamous Singing in the Rain assault scene and Malcolm McDowell's chilling performance as Alex. Critics today praise the film as a prophetic exploration of free will, behavioral conditioning, and state-imposed morality, highlighting issues that remain relevant decades later. Roger Ebert described it as a savage political satire rather than simple shock value, while modern audiences appreciate its innovative direction, striking visuals, and dark humor. A Clockwork Orange remains a landmark in cinema, influencing generations of filmmakers with its bold themes, unforgettable imagery, and fearless critique of societal control, violence, and human nature, solidifying Kubrick's reputation as one of the greatest directors in film history. These controversial 70s films shocked audiences, faced bans, and changed cinema forever. Which of these would you be brave enough to watch today, and which was most unfairly censored? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this dive into cinema history, like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another video about the most fascinating films that pushed boundaries.